What's going on YouTube? I am back. So we're here to talk about 3 woke idiots who get wrecked by Europe, and I love to see it. One's claiming it's because she was black. The other's claiming it's because she was fat, and I think the other one is claiming that it's because she's brown. We're going to be talking about these 3 videos and checking out what actually happened, but let me spoil the surprise up front. Neither of those things are the reasons these women got wrecked in Europe, but it's great to see and laugh at how out of touch and delusional these 3 women are. But as I always say, first up, if you want to help me out, hit the like button, and if you're new here, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you're already a subscriber, make sure you have all notifications for my channel turned on, as well as YouTube generally. You need both turned on, otherwise you won't get notifications. Go follow me on X at RealSCReviews, because I'm struggling here. But let's start with this. When one of these low IQ wokies is taken out of their cesspool and travels to a more cultured environment, we get takes like this.
Why, as a black person, I wouldn't go back to Vienna, Austria. Let me just...
Hold on a minute. Hold on. What did she say?
Why, as a black person, I wouldn't go back to Vienna, Austria.
I've been on this planet for a few decades now, and I've never once in my entire life have heard anyone pronounce Vienna, Austria in that particular fashion. That's interesting. But let's go back to the start.
Why, as a black person, I wouldn't go back to Vienna, Austria. Let me just say this. It's not for the blacks. I was there for 3 whole days, and guess how many black people I saw? 3 total. And one of them was me in the mirror.
Some may see that as a massive positive.
I saw 3 total. And one of them was me in the mirror. And don't even get me started on the food. Bland, dry, unseasoned. Y'all know I try to give European food a chance, but at this point, it's a losing battle.
If it's not deep fried, over-seasoned garbage that will kill you, that will give you diabetes or a heart attack within about 5 years, this woman does not want any part of it.
European food a chance, but at this point, it's a losing battle. If you love museums and architect, Vienna is cute.
If we love what?
Losing battle. If you love museums and architect.
If we love museums and architect. God help us. People like this should be banned from visiting other countries. Can we get Trump to sign an executive order banning people like this from visiting any foreign country ever? Maybe even ban it from the third world. They don't need their shithole societies being brought down any further by this woman or people like her infecting their societies, okay? They don't need it, because this would take them back to the dark ages.
Vienna is cute or whatever, but if that ain't your thing, baby, there's nothing else for you here. Nothing. I was just out there existing. So why did I even go? Child, I was just trying to be different, step out my comfort zone. But let's just say I stepped right back in. Vienna, checked off the list, never again. Is this a place you would try?
I'm sure the Viennans are thankful that you are not visiting there ever again. I'm sure they're thanking their lucky stars, thanking Jesus, thanking God. And based on that video, this stat that the mainstream media loves to push, that black women are the most educated group in the United States, is complete and utter bullshit. Now let's get to the obese woman who's upset.
3 reasons why I don't recommend Amsterdam as an American plus-size woman. All the doors are insanely narrow, making many houses, restaurants, and bakeries inaccessible for the horizontally challenged.
But that's a good thing. Keep these people out of these establishments and they might lose some goddamn weight. They're doing you a favor.
All the houses are only accessible through steep stairs. Is this not inconvenient? Why don't they build the doors on ground level? I'm also super annoyed by how skinny all the escalators are in Amsterdam.
I'm all with the Dutch here. Make them as thin as possible. And following on from that one, this is just a random clip about an overweight person and being pushed up a gradient.
Stop it! My shoe came off. Amy, get behind me.
I don't know if that fart sound was real or not. Or they just put that or they just put that in there. Tell me if that fart sound is real or not.
Stop it. My shoe came off.
Oh no. If they just added that in there in post-production, shame on you. Shame on the production team for doing that. This woman is claiming racism in Italy. Let's see what she had to say.
I basically just had the most racist experience in Italy. I've been here for like 10 days now, and the racism isn't like fully apparent, but it's apparent enough where you like feel it, but it's not just in your face. I get to the spot super close to my hotel, and they were closed yesterday when we got there at 3. It's now 1 p.m. He's like, table for one? I'm like, yes, table for one, please. He puts me at this table behind a wall, and I'm like, can I sit at this one by the window? And he's like, oh no, that's reserved. Mind you, there's like 10 other tables around that table, and he's like, sorry, that's reserved. And then I see this other darker skinned group that's behind a wall, not in front of the window.
But as someone has mentioned in the comments, it's typical for restaurants to do this because they don't want tables with just one person sitting at it in the front window. They want the place to look busy. But with people like this, it's always about racism. Oh, it's because I'm brown. But just for argument's sake, if they did treat her like this, could it be that they're doing that because they've had bad experiences with people of her complexion or darker in the past? Would that be understandable for them to treat a person differently based on their personal experience? Just how it was in like Nigeria. And they had an issue with white people coming in and just, for example, stealing stuff from a restaurant there. Would I be upset if they treated white people differently? No, I wouldn't be. I'd be like, yep, you do what you got to do. If you want to racially profile people, go for it.
The group that's behind a wall, not in front of the window. A white family in front of the window. And I was like, no. I asked him if they're serving breakfast anymore, and he was like, no breakfast, it's time for lunch. And then he goes over to the white table, and he's so friendly with them, laughing with them, having a ball.
He might know them. How does this woman know that they don't know each other? She's made up this whole scenario in her head that she's the victim. That all these people are racist and they hate her. Based on what?
And I was like, Bushra, yes, this is racism. Racism at its finest. And we're told to ignore, be like, no, this is in your head, and be okay.
It is in your head, that's why.
With things, but like all trip, I have not felt it to this degree. Maybe because...
Okay, so she's saying there. So that was the worst thing that happened. So they seated a solo restaurant goer, not near the window, and the owner of that restaurant talked to a white family. That was enough. That's the worst thing that happened to this woman on her trip. And now Italy is racist. Yes, it's that stupid. No, the criticism is that they've been far too welcoming of people from the third world and migrants generally. Far too welcoming. That's the main problem. That's what's going on. Hope you're having a good day as always. And as I always say, get the peons the hell out of a stick of ass.